fall. Denji! At a little-known college anime club tucked away at Akron University lies one of the smallest conventions that I have ever gotten to participate in, known as Zipcon. Akron is quite the drive from where I live, so for a few years now, I've avoided it. But everyone in the Ohio Idol community and some of my closest convention friends have hyped this convention up to the stars and back. And so I decided to check it out. A very tight-knit community, and for the majority of the convention, people were a little bit confused because I didn't go to Akron University and I didn't even live in Akron. I had an absolute blast at this convention, and despite only having a few big events, we were incredibly pressed for time, and the usual chaos absolutely ensued. We started off on an early Saturday morning. I'm running out of time and I need to put my costume on right now. We live a few hours away from the convention, and my friend Orion and I got the car packed up. After a very, very boring drive through Ohio, we made it to the fabled Jean Harbor Student Union. We went ahead, checked in, and grabbed our badges. As a wheelchair user, the ground outside of the university was very hard to navigate.
Let me go all the way around.
I was using all of the strength in my core to try and get up and down these little hills, but there were so many freaking cracks in the sidewalk. We spent the first little while at the con getting ourselves ready. We left later than anticipated, and that caused a bit of a scramble to get ready for my one show that I did at this convention.
Look at me in the corner. Yes! Am I gonna be included in the YouTube video?
You're gonna be included in the YouTube video. I feel so like cool in this cosplay.
Bro, everyone who watches your videos is gonna think I'm just like a fucking idiot.
No, I think they think that you're really cool.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Comment down below if you think that Orion is really cool.
And you're gonna keep that. You won't clip this, even if I beg you to. Okay.
We got ourselves situated and ran directly to this convention's Idol Festival. I have one main complaint about this convention, which is time. There was not enough time to get through a lot of the things that were happening throughout the day, which was partially my own fault for not getting there on time, but the Idol Fest was right before the Masquerade and left us with barely any time to do anything. The theater was quite an experience. It was as accessible as I really expect any theater to be. I was told to ask a convention staff member how to get backstage, and they led me through the back rooms, near the freight elevator and within a scary sterile hallway, which I'm kind of assuming they use as a backstage or a loading area for people who are performing in this theater. They opened the door and it led directly onto the stage. And so I opened the door and looked up. It was a cascade of seating leading to the stage all the way below the audience, who were already shuffling in. There was no actual accessible seat, so I kind of just shoved myself in there near where the other wheelchair user that was there was sitting.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about the projector. Oh my gosh, sure, thank you. I'll bring this one. It's pretty. Oh my gosh.
Yes. So much space.
I made it into the spot I'm supposed to be, and we have the gigantic freaking theater here. And they literally took me through the backstage, up to the stage.
Aw, that's cute.
All the people are here. We get to sing and dance. Life is beautiful.
I put my stuff down and prepared to perform. They had us do a little mic check, and the show began.
We are Ichiguro. We are your host.
When it came to this Idol Festival, every single performance was phenomenal. I know that this was not an audition show, but with the skill that everyone had, it certainly felt vetted. Every single performer was at the top of their game. There was original choreography and even completely original music. The energy in the room stayed up the entire time. I remember looking behind me a couple of times and people consistently had their pen lights on and waving around. The showcase runners are my friends at Dokirin, but they're also known as Ichiguro, which is a small Kagai idol or overseas idol group, and they have their own music and choreography which they perform. I love watching their sets, and they are always so well prepared and incredibly talented. There was also a group that I've never heard of before called Phantasmagoria. They performed their own original song, which was freaking beautiful. I wish the microphones were a little bit louder because they were definitely being drowned out by the audio. As they danced, their singing voices were projected and stable. If you know anything about performance, doing so simultaneously is a very, very difficult skill to master. One of the most energetic performances was a Precure performance, and oh my goodness, their performance was bubbly and fun, their facials were on point, and the movement was incredibly clean. Their energy was infectious. The last performance I wanted to mention was by Briar, a friend of mine within the Ohio Idol community. They absolutely stole the stage. Briar did Mira from Huntrix with completely original choreography that wowed me, and I'm fairly certain also the entire audience. The choreography was balanced and I liked the mix of it a lot. I know I only mentioned a few, but every performer did a fantastic job.
Dude, I'm already starting to lose my voice from screaming.
I'm not gonna lie, my choice not to eat has been a recurring problem throughout conventions. When I don't at least have a snack, I start shaking really badly. And when I'm shaking really badly to begin with, the adrenaline that you get from performing makes that so much worse. I need to make sure that I eat half an hour or an hour beforehand and drink some water, because if I were to do that, then I don't think I would have had the same problems that I had during this performance. I eventually found it my turn to go on. I rolled myself up, took a breath in, and began to sing. But I noticed right away that my breath support felt diabolical. My voice was literally shaking because my body was shaking. I stumbled through the whole 3 minutes that I was on stage. Everyone I've spoken to told me I did a good job regardless, but I feel it's important to be authentic about moments like this. I know I could do better, but I'm proud nonetheless that I went onto the stage and that I can learn and I can grow from a time that I faltered. And that is enough about me. They ended off the Idol Fest with a combined performance of Snow Halation, and honestly, they did a good job. I also got invited to do this, but I absolutely forgot about it. It completely slipped my mind, which makes sense with how much stress I was dealing with the week before the convention. A bit of a sidebar, but I made my entire cosplay in about 3 days. That's not completely true because I didn't actually make the whole thing. When it came to this cosplay, I took a dress and darted it so that it fit me better. And that was basically the extent of what I did. Orion helped me paint it, and I also altered my Uta dress from last year so that it would match and I would have a collar. I am still a little bit frustrated with myself for not finishing my entire costume that I had planned, but honestly, I was dealing with some pretty bad burnout this winter. Anyways, the Snow Halation performance was adorable, and I had a really fun time watching. And so the festival ended and we left. I'm so mad at myself.
Oh, because you messed up.
Yeah, but I'm sure the people don't care that much, but I care a lot. Because the only reason that I messed up is because
I know where you messed up too, and I could tell that you.
Yeah, well, the only reason that I messed up is because I haven't eaten enough. Because I'm shaking.
Oh my god.
And so it's completely my fault. Denji!
Is that what you think people are? You think people are wheelchairs and they have wheelchair pieces that they can just attach?
Yeah, they just like detach them. So I got out of my performance. I messed up like a bunch, and I'm gonna try really hard not to massively dwell on the fact that I messed up this performance because people still enjoyed it, but it's hard.
Realizing we only had a couple of hours before the masquerade began, we headed straight for the vendor hall. We booked it.
I'm so biased.
Me too. Honestly, I want to bump up Lumity. Yes. Lumity is revolutionary for like kids media, and I think that's really important.
This vendor hall was very artist focused, which I appreciate because I love to support small businesses and their livelihoods. The only problem that I had was that it was not a very diverse vendor hall when it came to the things that it was selling. They didn't have much space to work with, and it was laid out very well. I had no problem getting around.
Dude, I'm so cooked. The Saki Ito demands an offering.
And
Is that Lolita? It totally is. Look at all of these gorgeous design. I like the cherries. I want it. I just can't do $35 right now, especially after I spent $35 on Saki. Oh, she's so cute though.
Just my typical wheelchair user problem of not being able to see very well because I'm so much shorter than everyone else. As I have said before, my view is always booty first. So despite this dealer's hall being small, I lost Orion a total of 3 different times just to the people. The side quests that I took to find them led me around though, and I enjoyed getting to talk to so many people throughout the convention floor.
Dude, I'm making purchases, but now I'm broke, empty. The amount of times that I've accidentally lost, specifically Orion, in the vendor's hall, I found him. You find something good?
I got a little tattoo. Keep running like a chicken with his head cut off. And then you flip him around.
He's so awesome!
I like legitimately yelled.
We got wrist cuffs, little wrist
Quality,
cuffs.
quality. You can use
They
that with
have
anything.
Exactly. There's a headdress.
A headdress?
Yes! And it has a button that matches
The blouse. Oh my god, yes.
My favorites are tomato frogs, milk frogs, and then, there are so many that I love. Most like things that we think are toads are actually frogs.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. It's only the like toads that have the little humps on their back. Yeah.
I got pictures with a decent chunk of people in there, and also asked some people because they were cosplaying characters that I like. For example, there was one person cosplaying Loot with the wings and everything, and I was freaking obsessed. That is maybe a cosplay for later this year, so you're just gonna have to wait and see. I know you want it though. I know you want it. I know you want it. I'm gonna do it. Mark my words. While we were there, I wasn't really checking my phone and lost track of time again. Orion left and I lost them again. But this time it was for good reason. It was about 4 p.m. at this point and I got a text from Orion saying, they're letting people in for the masquerade right now. I'll meet you down there. Let me know when you're going. Normally, masquerades are the last thing during the daytime of a con. It turns out it is such a short convention that they kick the children out at 6:30 and the convention itself ends at 9. This is not the fault of the convention at all, and this is completely because Akron University doesn't want outsiders in their student union past 10 o'clock. And so to make sure that they can balance that, they kick everyone out of the convention at 9, allowing staff and vendors the chance to pack up and head out. I sped down the elevator, I slammed myself into the table and I said, hey, I need to get backstage again so I can see the masquerade. I was a little bit beside myself trying to make sure that I was on time. It was kind of one of the scariest moments of my life, questioning whether the masquerade was already starting and I would have to open the stage door and walk straight into someone's performance. Not only was there nothing going on yet, I was early. Only the contestants were in there at that point.
Show off the pebble. Look,
The dog.
I got my baby.
Unfortunately, the seating situation was already a little bit dire. Another wheelchair user was in the one little slot that there was, and because the masquerade was a little bit more quote-unquote professional, they wanted me to move my wheelchair out of the way. And so I thought, okay, well, there's a couple different ways I could do this. I could take my booty and go sit over in a corner where I have to be secluded from everyone else, or I could transfer myself into a seat that is basically front and center. I get to watch the performances right up close, but I lose all of my independence because my wheelchair gets rolled away from me. And so I chose to lose my independence. It definitely made me a little anxious, but at least it was my choice. Orion had their own problem with the masquerade. This morning, staff said, oh, by the way, if you want to do the walk-on for the masquerade, we have extra spots open. Earlier in the day, we had gone to the cosplay department room.
Cosplay registration.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any people in there.
No, there's no one in here.
A little bit ago.
Oh,
really?
dang.
Was it for the voting and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah,
I know we were
similar.
kind of like.
So before the masquerade, Orion went over and asked again,
Be right back. I went to ask about like the walk-ons earlier today and no one was there. No.
Aww.
It's just a bit too late.
Butt cheeks. Well.
Yeah, I tried.
It was a very frustrating moment, but despite that, we sat down in basically the center of the front row. The lights went down, the hosts got on stage, and the show began. Though this is a little con, it had some of the most beautiful freaking performances and cosplays that I have seen. I love coming to masquerades that have a lot of acting in them, and this particular masquerade was a lot of K-pop. It's not really my style, but these dance performances made me eat my words. Because let me tell you, every single one of those dancers that went onto the stage left me with my jaw agape. What I look for in a clean dance performance begins with each person's timing, the energy of the song and how they match it, how the song works with the characters that you're performing as, and the stylistic choices the performers made. Most of these performances here were comedic, which I really enjoyed. Not to say that I do not love a dramatic performance, because guess what? That's like basically all that I do. I love making people feel things, and I love making people cry, and that is one of my personal favorite parts of performing. But most of these acts relied on being comedic and being astonishing. For example, a cute little Sonic the Hedgehog group comes out on stage. I smile because I think that it's adorable. The music begins with a and I'm like, there's no freaking way, right? But it was a 5-person self-choreographed dance to Punk Tactics. The crowd reactions from that performance alone were probably enough to power the entire theater. Another performance that I really enjoyed was a Love and Deep Space performance by a few of my friends, which I had absolutely no idea. I know nothing about Love and Deep Space, but they chose to begin with a skit, and it gave me a look into what I was going to be expecting from the characters, which I really liked. And then they started doing floor work, and freaking spaghetti starts playing. Every single movement was so clean, but it was the facials and the acting that they did while they were dancing that sold this performance on me. It was incredible. I also want to call out this Mikuo, Kaito, and Fukase. They did the thing! And their movements were so incredibly in sync. The costumes sparkled with the lighting, which helped sell the performance a lot. And then at some point, the tone came down a little bit for a second when a few of my friends, Chris and Bree of Splash Idols, joined together to do a Tragic Yuri Dungeon Meshi performance, which was freaking beautiful. I love me Tragic Yuri. Go watch my The Red Means I Love You performance. They got onto stage, they start singing to each other, holding each other. The acting choices are phenomenal. The moment that they locked arms and started waltz dancing, it was over for me. I was freaking tearing up. I have goosies right now thinking about it. Not that you can see it. Every skit was fantastic, and I'd gush about all of them if I could. The costumes were also phenomenal. Like, look at this. I think it's latex work. It seamlessly transitions into an actual boot, and the tailcoat was so pretty. And this person hand beaded the entirety of their top and costume. It sparkled in the light, but it also looked kind of bloody, and I don't know if that was intentional, but it kind of gave me the chills and was like, ooh. Also, this duo cosplay where they had cast a sword out of resin, it was partially sheer and had a transitional gradient. They made bags, they made vests, they made pants, and you know how freaking hard it is to make good pants. And so the awards for craftsmanship came out.
Best Novice, Maggie and Mikey as Jester and Troy.
Yeah!
Best Advance, Arden Ezra as Cyrus from Love and Deep Space.
We got for Tuna as Optus Tectonics for Best
I know. Look how freaking beautiful the seam work on all those pieces were. When it came to the skit awards, I was on the edge of my seat. Every single skit was so well thought out and put together.
Yes. Amethyst Autos over here. Ash from Mirai. Best in shows performances. Eclipse Idol!
Eventually, once the Masquerade ended, we found the rhythm game arcade. It was quite exciting to get a moment to go and see the rhythm games. After the kind of day that we had, we were running back and forth, barely having time to do anything, and needed our Chuny Thumb time.
Today has been a freaking whirlwind, and we're in the arcade now. I am so tired. I slept 5 hours tonight and 6 hours last night trying to get this freaking costume done. Sorry. I feel like I've done nothing but watch people all day, except the one time that I performed. I love the Rhythm Arcade.
I very much enjoyed the 45-ish minutes that we spent in that game room. I got to talk to one of my arcade friends who gave us Stewie Lewin stickers.
I couldn't get my lanyard over my head. I finally get to wear my Leonid gloves as a Leonid character. Oh my gosh.
Oh, bad bros.
I'm bad.
Oh, you're duct taping it?
Yeah.
Commentary.
And it's pink.
Shapes and colors. Tape the bag because bro.
This is beautiful.
Oh, you should. other side.
Nothing ever happened to my bag.
Someone said that the arcade closed at 10, so we decided that we would go get pictures really quickly to make sure that those were done before we left. Got some cute little pictures on the staircase and in the hallway.
Most damage you're gonna get out of your sword is probably slicing, but that also takes a certain precision. And you need to have good grip. This is a horrible thing to grip on.
Why is it a block period?
Because it's how negative lustrous.
Oh, okay,
They're
okay.
not people, they don't work like people. And
Yeah, makes sense.
The staircase spot was beautiful because the light from the outside was coming in and shining down, and it kind of looked like the moon. And then we ran our butts back upstairs to grab another round or two on Chunitham.
Is it closed?
What? I thought it was 10 p.m.
They thought so also, but the university said it was 9.
Oh,
my
that's
God.
too bad. It's okay. We got in our rounds. It's fine.
But ultimately, it was not the end of the world because I finally got to do what I had been trying to do all day, which was to pull for the Project Kagai card that I was cosplaying.
They are twinning.
Which turned out great. It was great. I love gambling.
Kill with Project Kagai. Okay.
No, flip! It's gonna flip! Watch this!
We're not getting the pull we're looking for.
Miku, I'm gonna, like...
There's the new one.
I'm gonna take you out of the Wi-Fi. Oh, cute. No, ID card. That's adorable. I hate Saki Tenma. I hate this girl. Who even gaff about Leo Mid? Leo Mid. Leo Mid. Okay. I'm literally wearing your face right now. I just don't know why we can't be friends.
Wait, is that it?
We'll see.
Who's that?
Good for you.
I'm never gonna use you in Fortnite again.
There's a chance. I'm gonna throw my Saki Tenma Ita
There's
bag
another
in
yellow-
the trash can. Don't do that, bro.
Emu, okay.
It's the Gacha Emu.
Oh, no, it sucked. I'm lying out of my face. It turned out horribly. I pulled on the banner and I got all of the cards except for the one I wanted. We kind of talked about it and figured out that the only reason that I couldn't get the card was because I was the card. Miku got a little confused and didn't think that I needed it. So I've given up on the dream of having my probably favorite card in the entire game that I've made my personality for about a year since the card came out. It's fine.
I need to have the energy to kill God or I'll pass out on the floor.
They drink 2 full monsters.
Yeah.
I think the worst mistake of the day, despite going in without a plan, is that neither of us brought coats inside. It was 60 degrees out in the morning.
I want to hype the staff up here as much as possible because they're doing the best that they can.
Every time we like ask for directions on where thing is, they help.
Exactly.
I appreciate that rather than, you know, a certain
special con that has to do with like the universe.
Me and my false lashes blinking as they say ADA line.
What do you mean?
One.
I know. As we bring our duct taped bags out into the 25-degree weather in our short sleeves and no pants, we realized that maybe the true Zipcon was the memories we made along the way.
we could have had on our coats.
Or the zippers we could have had on our coats.
It didn't help that it was also horribly windy. And also, I decided to use the parking lot that had event parked in bold letters on the outside of it, which was also the furthest parking lot from the student union. And so we had to walk over 5 minutes in 25-degree weather. I was literally numb in my hands and in my feet. And by the time that we got all the way over to the car, I was dying. I threw the keys to Orion. They opened the car door, grabbed my coat out of it, threw it on top of me, put the heat all the way onto blast. I put my wheelchair away as fast as humanly possible.
Welcome to our bad decisions. We both wear summer cosplays too cold. It's still February. I have my thighs out. Lee's got everything out. I got my toes out. Oh, ew! Censor that. Censor those dogs.
Once we finally made it to the room, the door doesn't open. I got the key and the door was not opening. We sat outside for like 20 minutes, impatiently awaiting for the staff.
The door to our hotel is stuck. It's 11 and we've yet to like go in the hotel because it's stuck and we've just been in kind of torture.
I feel like Sisyphus.
You're already had to do a 20-minute drive just to get here, and now it's like this.
No food though, at least.
Surviving barely, bro.
I decided, okay, I'm gonna go back up to the door. Like, maybe I was pushing on it wrong, maybe this key card just wasn't working. But it turns out the door handle was installed upside down, and all that I had to do the entire time was push the knob upwards instead of down. Look, in hindsight, it was a really, really funny thing, but in that moment, it was devastating. But we made it. We went to bed. We drove back home the next morning after getting a nice, long 9 hours of sleep. One of the most frustrating and one of the most fun conventions that I have ever had the pleasure of participating in. It was definitely one of the harder ones to get through, but absolutely nothing to do with the fault of the convention and everything to do with the university and also my own mental and physical shortcomings. And I don't mean the wheelchair, I mean I was exhausted. We ultimately did have a great time. And I think what I found the most lovely about this convention was the community. It's quite a cosplay focused event, which I love to see, and every single staff member that I spoke to was fantastic. I think that I am going to come back next year, especially now that I know how it goes. We won't have much time to explore or wander or anything, but I am honestly really excited for next year and to see all the new things that this convention might bring for me. And I also think that it would be fun to compete in the Masquerade. Maybe I'll do craftsmanship. Who knows? Wait, what's my outro? What do I say? I didn't write it down because I'm like, I do my outro all the time. I cannot wait to have another fantastic adventure, which, speaking of, you are not going to want to miss. So make sure to like the video, comment down below your experiences, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, I know you haven't done it. If you want to help me be able to make this my full-time job, then my Patreon is linked down below. But even if you're simply watching the video, liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel, following any of my other socials, or even joining my Discord server, you are doing more than you could ever know. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, Leefy is out. Bye for now.